Is the US deficit really a ticking time bomb set to explode and derail the nation's economy? Or could it be perhaps the biggest myth we've all bought into without question? Today, we're going to dive deep into the ocean of economics and debunk the US deficit myth. First, let's clear the air about what a deficit is. A deficit occurs when a country's government spends more than it earns in a specific fiscal year. This might sound like a recipe for disaster, but in the realm of economics, things aren't always what they seem. You see, in the household economy, spending more than you earn is a surefire route to bankruptcy. But a country isn't a household. Countries have a tool that households don't, the power to issue their own currency. In the United States, the government issues its own currency, the US dollar. The government can never run out of dollars, just like a scorekeeper can't run out of points. This is a cornerstone of what economists call modern monetary theory, or MMT. MT argues that the only real limits to spending are inflation and the availability of real resources, like workers, materials, and technology. So, if the economy isn't at full capacity, the government can spend more without causing inflation. Now, you might be thinking, but what about the debt? Yes, the government borrows by issuing bonds, but who do you think buys those bonds? That's right, people with US dollars. And where do those dollars come from? From the US government. It's a cycle, not a cliff edge. So, if the government can always create more money, and the debt is just money that the government owes to people who hold its currency, what's the big deal about the deficit? The answer is, there isn't one. The US deficit is not like a household debt. It won't cause an economic apocalypse. It's not a burden on future generations. It's not a reason to cut social programs. It's simply an accounting tool that reflects how much the government has put into the economy versus how much it has taken out. In summary, the US deficit is not a ticking time bomb. It's a myth, a misunderstanding, a misrepresentation of how the economy works. So next time you hear someone talking about the deficit as if it's the end of the world, remember, the government isn't a household, the debt is not a burden, and the deficit is not a disaster.